Today, we're talking about your brain on debt. So let's dive in. When you think of a financial decision of want versus need, you have two parts of your brain fighting it out, like constantly fighting each other. In the corner over here, we have the prefrontal cortex. This is your rational brain. Long-term planning, impulse control, delayed gratification. This is the part of your brain that knows you shouldn't put that on the credit card. And in the corner over here, we have our reigning champion, the limbic system.
Max Holloway's him. Max Holloway.
This is your emotional brain. Survival, reward, instant relief. This is the part that swipes the credit card anyway. Now, one thing to know is they're not equal. First, because the limbic system is largely developed by adolescence, whereas the prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until 25, 30 years old. And second, when you're stressed, the limbic system wins every time, every single time. So when you're under financial stress, your brain is flooded with cortisol, and this reduces blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, which shuts down your ability to make rational decisions. Funny, because the thing you need most when you're dealing with debt is the first thing that stress takes offline. Now, that's just not a fair fight. Your limbic system is emotional. It is convinced it knows what's happening, and it is absolutely screaming at you to spend that money right now because it feels like survival. Your prefrontal cortex, on the other hand, has a rational answer. It knows the pain, but when you're stressed, burnt out, and financially underwater, the limbic system wins every time.
I'm gonna need a stiff drink to get through this. Stiff.
So let's talk about what happens when you make an impulse purchase, okay? Because there's a reason it feels like you are solving a problem when it's really making things worse. It's that feeling you get when you add something to your cart. That hit you feel, that is dopamine. But here's what's wild. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan found that dopamine isn't actually the pleasure chemical, it's the wanting chemical. It drives the anticipation, the craving, not the actual enjoyment of having the thing, which is why the want feeling is better than actually getting the thing that you wanted, which is why you can buy something and feel worse 10 minutes later. You were chasing the want, not the have.
You want that donut? Go ahead and have a bite.
If this isn't recognized or understood, then the loop continues. Emotional discomfort, spend for relief, dopamine hit, temporary mood boost, guilt, more stress, repeat. So research out of Stanford found that during purchase decisions, your emotional brain fires first before your rational prefrontal cortex even finishes evaluating the decision. And a budget cannot fix an emotional reflex. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, I'd like you to go ahead and hit like and subscribe so that you're always notified and ready when I drop new videos. Okay, I want you to pause here for a quick minute to give you something to think about critically. We have all been told that your brain is fully developed by 25, right? 25, that's the number everyone throws around. That's why your car insurance goes down.
I'm an adult. I don't have to think or do anything.
But huge foot stomping on the butt part here. New neuroimaging research shows, insert some big words here, okay, that the prefrontal cortex Remember, it's your rational brain, your impulse control, your long-term planning center is now continuing into your early 30s. Don't worry, I'll share links in the description of my research if you don't trust me. So early 30s here, people. Turning 25 doesn't mean you even have a fully functioning risk assessment capability yet. The brain undergoes what researchers are now calling an extended adolescence, from around age 9 all the way up to your early 30s. At 30 years, your brain is still installing what they describe as its operating system. The brain undergoes what researchers are now calling an extended adolescence, from around age 9 all the way to the early 30s. At 30 years old, your brain is still installing what they describe as its adult operating system, still installing planning, self-control, complex decision making, still being built. Knowing that, what did we hand an entire generation while that was happening? Brilliant, right? Here's an app on your phone that chases dopamine release, stopping the not even fully built yet prefrontal cortex from doing its job. Researchers at Tianjin Normal University scanned the brains of over 100 college students and compared the results to how attached they were to short form video. The ones most attached showed structural brain differences, specifically in the regions linked to reward sensitivity and impulse control. What do you think? Coincidence? Separate research found that people high in short video use had measurably lower markers of prefrontal executive function. Let me repeat some of that for the people in the back. On brain scans, structural differences, impulse control. Now, you can take from that what you want to. I asked you to think critically just a few moments ago, but I will tell you that my kids do not get to access the short form content. I'd like for them to be able to think critically before the age of 30. So now you're making irrational and emotional decisions about purchase while racking up the debt and feeling shame and guilt afterwards. Now, if you stayed long enough to watch this whole video, I want you to know something. This is all normal. You're not the only one. This video wasn't meant to shame or hurt anyone. It's here to help you understand why you spend the way you do, because knowing is half the battle. Quack, quack, boom, out.